You're listening to E-Commerce Fastlane, episode 70.
Welcome to E-Commerce Fastlane, the podcast show to help you build, launch, grow, and scale a wildly successful e-commerce company. Listen to real conversations with proven practical strategies and success stories. Learn how to generate more traffic, more sales, more profit, and customer lifetime value for your Shopify store. And now, your host and e-commerce entrepreneur, Steve Hutt.
This episode is brought to you by Caro, the #1 Shopify app for influencer marketing. Caro is a Shopify app that discovers all the influencers who are your brand's customers, email subscribers, and fans. Now imagine an influencer with 1 million followers was to make a purchase from your Shopify store. Would you know about it? Caro makes sure that you do. And unlike other influencer platforms, Caro is built for trust and transparency. And they help you find influencers that are genuinely interested in your brand so that you're not scrolling through countless social accounts just to find the right partners. Let Caro do the heavy lifting and find influencers that are best for your brand. And Caro also helps you execute your influencer marketing every step of the way. They make communication and product distribution easy so you can pick the right influencers and create meaningful partnerships. And right now, Caro is free for all Shopify stores. So why not try it out and see who you find? Now, after you install the app, Caro will alert you whenever a new influencer engages with your brand so that you can communicate and continue to build your list of influencers over time. To get started, you can visit getcaro.com or you can search for Caro in the Shopify App Store. That's Carro, and discover which influencers already love your brand. Hey there, it's Steve, and welcome back to the E-Commerce Fastlane podcast. Now, if this is your first time listening, this is an e-commerce show where we have honest and transparent conversations about building and thriving with your store, powered by Shopify or Shopify Plus. Now, new episodes are available each week with your favorite podcast player through iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. Or you can also sign up online at ecommercefastlane.com and be notified when new shows are being released. Now, my guest on today's episode is Brent Spicer, also known as Spice, who is the co-founder and CEO of Marcello. That's Marsello. And they're a marketing automation platform. Basically, they uniquely pair email with loyalty and retention features. Instead of having separate applications of an email marketing and automation platform and then a loyalty and retention word-of-mouth type solution, they're able to combine them together into one solution. So it's pretty exciting, really, to find the right customers at the right time with the right message. And that's the great thing about this platform. And you're going to learn a lot about how you can deliver smart and targeted marketing that's designed to increase your customer retention and revenue, most importantly for your Shopify store. So thanks again for listening in today. So please enjoy. So hi, Spice. Welcome to E-Commerce Fastlane.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Now, you may have heard at the top of the show, I did mention a few things about Marcello, but on a high level, what does Marcello do and what sort of problem are you aiming to solve for Shopify store owners?
The problem that we discovered with talking to a lot of these store owners was that not only do they not have the time and the money to do marketing, but they're just not marketing experts. So they were looking for a solution where a tool would actually really deeply help them do the marketing. So rather than just being a tool that you can do marketing with, what they really needed was the advice. So we built Marcello, which is a virtual marketing assistant for small retailers. So what Marcello does is actually extracts the data from your e-commerce store, and if you've got a physical store, from your Shopify point of sale as well, compares that data with tens of thousands of other stores just like you and works out what type of marketing or what marketing campaign will work best for which cohort of customers. Then Marcello builds the marketing campaign for you, allows you to approve and send it. So rather than just being the tool, it's actually the marketing itself. The North Star that we thrive to achieve for our customers is brand new incremental sales. So at the moment we're generating 20 to 30x return on investment. So if you're paying like $100 a month for your Marcello subscription, you should be getting $2,000 to $3,000 a month of brand new sales coming through.
That's pretty exciting. I know the whole concept of this show too is a data and a strategy driven approach to building and scaling lifetime customer loyalty. And I think that's the challenge where a lot of people know there's a lot of data out there. They are challenged a bit about trying to figure out how you action that data. What sort of things should I be working on? And the challenge is having a lot of things potentially to work on. So it sounds like what Marcelo was doing based on the amount of customers that are attached to the platform is you're coming up with almost a recipe, so to speak, of specific tactics and strategies that you can execute based on the performance of your POS, your retail location, and your online store as it relates to others in the Shopify ecosystem. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're really doing is democratizing the power of big data and machine learning and AI for these small guys. So, we don't talk about machine learning and AI with our customers because the eyes will just glaze over and they'll get really confused and they don't want to know that stuff. So we actually do it for them. So what we're doing is consolidating all that data across thousands of retailers and democratizing that down to the benefit of the individual retailer by saying, hey, Steve, you should run this campaign to this cohort of customers through this particular channel, and we predict it will generate X return on investment. And here, look, the campaign's already built for you. You can go in and you can make changes, but you don't need to. You can just press send if you want to. So what we find is that on the continuum of our customers in terms of the do it for me or the do it yourself, the smaller guys are generally just do it for me. So they just generally press send, whereas like a Shopify Plus customer who has a marketing person will want to go in and look at the settings and maybe move some stuff around in the comms to suit their brand more before they press send. But we're pretty much just building it all for them. Like I say, Marcelo is this virtual marketing assistant that actually will do the marketing for you with your approval.
All right, this is awesome. So tell me about the founder's journey. I'm always fascinated by the journey kind of leading up to launching it. So what would you say uniquely positions you maybe in the founding team, first of all, to have the desire, and then number two, maybe the expertise to even want to create a platform like this?
It's a fairly typical startup story, to be honest. So I was doing some other stuff. I was actually consulting and doing some advisory work for an incubator in our hometown of Wellington, New Zealand. And I met one of my two co-founders who was working in the incubator on a loyalty product, while his twin brother, was actually out working full time trying to earn enough money for them both to live. So they lived in a grotty apartment and shared a bed, and they just wanted to create their own business. So we got on really well, and we wanted to solve the same problem. So what we were seeing at the time, and this has been going on forever. There's a lot of solutions out there, marketing solutions for small retailers that really you can't prove are working, i.e. generating new sales, or two, are kind of working for the benefit of the product itself. So, daily deals, the Groupon type deals, for example. So we saw a lot of these small retailers were doing those deals, but, they were losing a truckload of money and they were building someone else's database. So we wanted to come up with a solution that worked on behalf of the small retailer, and actually you could prove that it was working. You could prove that the solution actually generated attributable sales. You could see that sale was made by Marcelo. So we got together, raised a bit of money in New Zealand, and that was in 2014, and we've kind of grown from there.
Yeah, and I see that you've actually been listed recently, at least in the last month or so, in the Shopify App Store as a recommended solution.
Yeah, we've had some wonderful support from Shopify, and one of the differentiators for us is, as you know, more than 80 cents in every dollar is still spent in store. So our solution makes it a completely seamless journey for the consumer, both in store and online. So we have a fantastic relationship with the Shopify POS guys, and we think that our product is quite differentiated for these small retailers who are omni-channel, i.e. they have some physical stores as well as an online store. So we've been getting a lot of airplay from the Shopify POS guys.
That's awesome. I'll make sure in the show notes for this episode, I'll have links to the uniqueness of your POS connections. I think that's very compelling because a lot of people have that challenge. And there are other solutions of like, well, how do I deal with my salespeople's downtime? these salespeople in a store or retail sales clerks are not doing much. There's mostly a lot of downtime in retail, even though 80% of the revenue is happening in retail for a brand if you are truly running a retail operation. And so I'll make sure I put a few links. We'll chat after this recording to see about how there could be the marketing people as part of the brand. How does that relate to POS? How do we get more foot traffic? Because let's not ignore the fact that if you're listening today and you do have a retail or a pop-up, how do you geo-target people in your area based on your database? Can Marcelo help you in relation to getting more foot traffic into your store? That's an interesting opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is, and it's the reason that people are omni-channel is it's not that they want to be; it's the consumer wants to be. So I want to have the opportunity to shop however I want to through whatever channel. So you can run marketing based on the type of product as well. So if, for example, it's a brand new product that you've got, you want people to come in store and experience the product the first time. But if it's then a refill, for example, that they want, then you want to drive those people to make the purchase online because it's very expensive to serve in store, obviously. And for very transactional purchases, our marketing will allow you to drive those transactions online, but drive the experiential sort of purchase in store.
Very cool. So let's talk about this whole retention marketing. It's a conversation that pops up quite a bit. I'm sure there's lots of stats floating around about the costs of acquiring a new customer versus nurturing the lifetime value of a existing customer. So what's your take on this whole retention marketing part of it? Because I think it's differentiated versus email and trying to draw people back. But then when you have these loyalty and retention components to Marcelo, I think you have an interesting spin on it that I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Everyone knows the facts that's thrown around all the time that it costs 7 times more to acquire a customer than it does to retain an existing one. So, you've done all the hard work of getting these customers on board, and now it's really important to keep them coming back and spending more because it costs you way less to do that. More importantly, retail is very seasonal, right? And so coming up to this time of the year, it's really important that the customers that you get coming in and buying stuff from you during the busy holiday season, you actually manage to retain those customers for when it's a quieter part of the year. So then you can actually market back to those guys and get them spending more. It's very difficult to find customers in the down season, but if you've already got customers, they're the ones that you want to retarget and get buying more.
Now, there's another concept called lifecycle marketing. So there's retention marketing and lifecycle marketing. What's the difference? And then how do you believe that Marcelo is approaching lifecycle marketing?
Well, the difference is people want to buy different things and buy different ways at different parts of their journey, right? So a mature customer wants to purchase different stuff, or you have the capability of getting them to purchase different stuff. So this is exactly where we're going with our product roadmap as well. So at the moment, it's very much retention marketing, but we're actually building products to help acquire customers at the start of the journey. And then the tools that we're building and the skills that we're building with Marcelo will actually work differently based on how long the customer has been around and based on your type of business as well. So, we have auto campaigns that go out when a customer reaches a certain trigger, i.e. they've spent this much money, therefore you need to treat them differently because they're at risk, but a different type of risk at every point of that journey. So the longer a customer's been around, the more that they've spent, the more that they fit into this VIP type profile, then the better the deals that you have to give them to retain them because they want to feel special because they know how much they've spent. So different, and that's what you were talking about before. It's different marketing at different times, right? So you've got to hit them with the right message at the right part of the buyer journey that they're on.
I chat with quite a few merchants every day, and this whole analysis paralysis comes up. At least I don't know who coined it, but it's an interesting topic, and I think it's important to maybe discuss that today. Because I think that's one of the benefits of Marcelo is giving people campaigns based on your data as it relates to others in the Shopify ecosystem that's connected to Marcelo. But the idea is that there's so much big data out there, and there's so many things that you could be working on. Would love to hear your feedback about how Marcelo was helping that. Like how do you start using all this data that's being ingested into Marcelo without getting this analysis paralysis kind of concept?
That's exactly the problem that we're trying to solve, right? Because there is, particularly in an online business, there is a lot of data. And you can't expect a small retailer who's busy trying to serve customers and doing refunds and looking after customer service. You can't expect them one, to find the time to sit there and do all of that analysis, but two, build the expertise to do it. So what we've built with Marcelo is Marcelo actually does that crunching for you. So we use a methodology, an old framework that's been around for a long time called RFM, so recency, frequency, and monetary. So we ingest all that data and we put customers in cohorts based on when they last shopped, the recency, how often they shop, the frequency, and then thirdly, the monetary value, how much money they've actually spent with you. We actually are building another part to this puzzle as well, more around how the customer feels about you. So we have a feedback tool as part of Marcelo as well. So if a customer is happy, so you can see all that data, but if a customer is actually happy, it's a good time to ask them for a referral. If they're unhappy, they might have just spent a load of money, but if they're unhappy, you don't ask them for a referral. So if we can work out that they're happy, the goal is to get them to bring their friends along. If they're unhappy, the goal is to make them happy. So Marcelo's doing all that stuff in the background rather than you needing to become a data expert. So when we started this journey, we thought that we would build a separate big room with all these marketing analysts that would actually sit there and churn through the data through us. And as we started going down this path, we were always hosted on Amazon Web Services as our platform, and the machine learning and AI stuff just became cheap and easy to use. So we actually have, all this data is being churned through 24/7 in real time. So these campaigns are being built, looking, as I said, across thousands and thousands of retailers in the background without you needing to be a data expert. And then the only thing that, that people really care about from their marketing, from what our customers tell us, does it earn me more money? So we're not doing branding stuff. We're doing stuff to actually earn you more money. So everything that we tweak with the algorithms and stuff that we use is about generating brand new incremental sales for the retailer. Who wants to sit there and look at that data? We can just press a button and earn more money.
And we're right in the midst of Q4 right now. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is on our doorstep. And so how do you believe, for those that would likely have an email platform connected to their store, it's fairly basic. It could be as little as an OmniSend or a MailChimp or something. They have something connected to their store, likely. Not all brands are going to necessarily have a loyalty and retention solution. Maybe they haven't matured to that level yet. And so how do you believe, if people were to pivot, let's say after hearing this show today, and pivot over to your platform, and I will talk about this extended offer that we have available at the end of the show, but if they were to pivot onto Marcelo this week, is this going to help potentially impact the success of this holiday season for them? I think the traffic is going to be there just because more people are looking to purchase, but how is Marcelo individually going to help a vendor now if they were to connect their store this week?
If you look at this from an example of an existing Marcelo customer, they will log into their Marcelo dashboard this week and there will be campaigns ready to go, already set up for them for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So the campaign will say, hey, we know from your store and your product and your average purchase value that you should run this campaign to your existing customers. It's all beautifully built out. It's all branded, customized to you. Here's a preview, or you can just press send. So rather than needing to sit down and look at, do I have a discount on this product? What product should I be sending? So we have a recommendations algorithm within Marcelo as well. So very similar to Amazon. It's exactly the same as Amazon. What the campaign will actually do is it will have recommendations, and then it will say, hey, Steve, you've bought this product in the past, and people who have also bought this product you bought also like to buy this particular product. So that campaign for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is all ready to go, and it's customized down to the individual consumer. So how much work is that for? It's not even fathomable that a small retailer could sit down and work that out. Our customers, like I say, this week will log in and it will say, here's your campaign, it's pre-built for you, just press send.
That's pretty exciting. Now, what about those that are in the subscription business? Because I have quite a few brands that do the one-offs, but they also see the benefits of having this revenue coming in every month or every quarter as part of a subscription option. I know Shopify as a platform through Shopify Payments doesn't have what's called tokenization, so they're not able to future bill for people. So most people are connected to either Bold, Cashier, or Recharge Payments, this sort of thing. How does Marcelo fit into the lifetime value and can understand and appreciate maybe potential churn, meaning they've only been, let's say they're a wine club of the month kind of a solution, and every month people get 3 bottles of wine delivered to them. How do they understand, or does Marcelo understand the lifetime value of a particular customer, knowing the average customer likely stops after 6 months? Why is that? And should I run a campaign, or can I be notified of it? I'm just curious on your mindset around subscription-based businesses on Shopify.
So there's 2 things there, right? So we're a subscription business as well. And what we're always trying to do is to get our customers to pay more. So the last thing you want is a subscription that just sits there and bills the same amount all the time. That's good to have, but it's always at risk. So if you're actually able to upsell those customers based on what they've purchased in the past, and thousands of other consumers like them have also purchased, try and upsell them to this product. If you're upselling them, they become less at risk from churning from that basic subscription. And so what we are building is for our customers is we can see that a consumer is moving into an at-risk segment at a particular time. And so what will happen is that when even in a subscription business, these consumers move into an at-risk segment, then Marcelo will actually, again, automatically build a campaign and say, hey, when a customer hits this particular segment, we should send them this campaign and say, hey, you've been around for a long time. We love you. Here's, 10% off, or here's in your example, here's a free bottle of wine because you've been a customer for this long. So, so all that stuff's happening in the background.
That's exciting. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I know you can appreciate this, but this show, it has a very diverse range of listeners. And, and since you kind of work with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of these stores are powered by Shopify. Are you able to offer some advice today? Let's say for those listening who would be in the early stage, it seems to be kind of your sweet spot. Like, what sort of things do you believe that those brands, those e-commerce businesses today, what should they be working on?
So it's all about building that database, right? With the retention marketing, you've got to have a database to market back to. When we first started doing what we were doing in the old days, loyalty was a way of actually driving people back to spend points and buy more. It's actually changed a lot. And so loyalty now is a lot around, I'll give you some points, which will allow you to get some free stuff if you give me access to your data. So we call loyalty the ticket to the party. You don't necessarily make a lot of money out of loyalty, but you can use the data that you get from loyal customers to be able to market back to them later. If you're starting off from day one, and our product is not great for, if you've got a database of less than 1,000, we're building some stuff to help people acquire new customers. But the idea is you've got to find every way that you possibly can to acquire new customers onto your database. So, we've built forms, for example, so pop-ups and forms that you can actually run on an iPad in your store so people can sign up. You just got to get those people on your database. It's an investment. A lot of people don't understand it, particularly in physical retail. They find it hard to get people to sign up. But we actually have a lot of our physical retailers incentivizing their staff. They're paying their staff more to get people added to the database, because that's the only way that you're actually going to continue to grow your business, is start to build the database and then market back to them later.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned about the iPad in a retail location. I was in one store recently. They had an iPad sitting there with like an attached keyboard. And basically they said, you get this for free. It was actually at a dental office, but they said, you get this teeth whitening kit worth $69 for free. All we ask is if you could please review us now on my Google page, my Google My Business account. And so it seems that there is some kind of selfish benefits for, in this particular case, this dental office, to be able to have multiple 5-star ratings and I guess the metadata that goes along with that in the organic search results. People looking for a dentist in Vancouver, and all of a sudden, wow, there's like 87 5-star reviews for this dentist. Now they were incentivized. I thought it was a very interesting tactic to be able to do that. I guess it is a loyalty type of thing. It almost feels like it's an influencer type thing where, hey, I'll give you this. All we're asking for is that if you can give us an honest review about how your cleaning was today. Have you seen that sort of tactic happening at all in your neck of the woods?
Across the board, in terms of loyalty rewards, we always recommend that people don't just have a discount, a percentage off or $1 off, that you actually offer compelling products as well. People actually like to get free products, and it's just not very compelling to get dollars off. So yeah, we always recommend that people have that. I have a customer down in Australia actually. It's a really funky boutique store, and the top reward is You get to go into the store after hours and they will tell you the story of how they built this store. You'll get wine and cheese and you'll get a free gift voucher to spend there, and you get to take 3 of your mates along. So that's the cool sort
Oh,
of
wow.
ideas that we like, that kind of drive people to not just spend those points to get a dollar discount, which comes straight out of your margin, obviously, but to actually get experiences that only loyal customers can get.
Yeah, I'm going to spin back to one other thing that you mentioned, talking about building your customer base and kind of nurturing it. And I think some of the challenges that some folks have is, how do I build that customer base? And, some ideas that come to mind to me, and maybe we can discuss how Marcelo fits into that mix. But there's the email. Obviously, I think that's definitely the North Star if you want to grow your email list. But then open rates and going into the promotions tab and things, those, can be, somewhat challenging. There's things like push notifications, there's text message marketing, there's Facebook Messenger bots. I'm sure there's other tactics of things where you're trying to get a customer to opt in a channel that they're active in. So how is Marcelo positioning themselves of building your database and building opt-ins? And then, is there a partner alignment for maybe parts of the platform that you choose to not want to build? You would rather connect to others to build those opt-ins, and then can campaigns be executed based on those opt-ins?
For us, if you're a brand new retailer coming to Marcelo, and you're coming with a database, then you can just easily import that database. But we're building tools all the time to help people to collect data, so databases. And one of the things I think is really important here, to go back to the question around, well, why wouldn't someone give you their details? And email marketing in particular has been abused for so long that people will just send out campaigns to everyone on their database. So what Marcelo actually allows you to do is, actually, once you've got that data about the customer, you're only sending them campaigns that are relevant to them. And if you go back to our recommendations algorithm, the products that are being recommended to you are specific to you. We're building new tools around capturing these customers as well. So as I said, we've got the forms in there now. From an in-store perspective, we are just building out the capability for consumers just to provide their mobile phone number. At the point of sale, you want to finish the transaction, get the cash, and move on. So with the mobile phone number, what basically happens is the consumer then gets a text message that says, "Hey, Steve, thanks for signing up for our program. Please complete your details to get this free gift or these points." We're doing that. We're doing Facebook integration at the moment as well to build lookalike lists to try and acquire new customers. And one of the key things that we're trying to do as well is that we hear, particularly from a lot of smaller retailers, that the marketing apps have become very fragmented. That you'll have, one for recommendations and one for loyalty and one for email marketing and one for everything. So we're trying to build a lot of that stuff into one place, so that people don't have to have multiple subscriptions and try to work out who's doing what part of the customer lifecycle journey.
I find that a lot when I do app audits with brands, especially when they're new clients that I kind of take over, and I look at them and I go, okay, why did you make these app choices? And a lot of times they have no idea why. They have some idea. It could be the developer they had in the prior, or their agency partner, whoever's, or there could have been incentivized as agency partner to select these certain apps. But the reality is, you're right, the fragmentation and the fact that, how do you know how effective each channel is?
So when the Shopify MailChimp breakup happened, we got a lot of customers coming to us who wanted to use our email marketing platform. So Shopify were really good to us. They really looked after us and pushed a lot of customers our way. But a lot of those customers would come to us and they'd say, "Hey, but I actually can get loyalty with you guys as well." We would say, "Yeah, it's all part of the package." So they would say, "So I'm actually going to drop what I'm doing with loyalty and move my MailChimp to you guys, but do loyalty with you guys as well," because you have a single view of the customer, right? So you're not communicating to them about what's going on with their loyalty rewards completely separately from what's going on with your email marketing campaign. So that's exactly what you're talking about. There's multiple touch points coming from different apps. Is just not only it's difficult for the retailer to manage, but it's confusing and annoying for the consumer to get all these different messages.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to my world. So let's talk about those that are listening today. I guess they would now be considered more in the mid-market. So they would have a small team. They may even be working with a Shopify agency partner to outsource some of their marketing efforts. And that seems quite a common thing for people in the mid-market, just from an expertise perspective. So These teams typically are very eager to grow and scale. Like, what do you believe maybe the executive team or the marketing team, what should they be working on?
So from our perspective, we do have large customers using our platform as well. So with the smaller customer, as I talked about, that continuum of the do it for me, do it myself type guys, the do it myself type guys are still using Marcelo, and they'll actually be going and building different campaigns using the platform that we hadn't actually thought of. And the beauty of what we're trying to build as well is that we can see. So I'll give you an example. So a custom automation, for example. So the marketing team might go, this is specific to my business. This automation I want to trigger when this particular event happens, or a customer looks like this. So we're actually able to see what marketing works, and if there's an automation campaign that several retailers are actually running, the bigger guys, then we can actually build that as a template, and then the smaller guys get access to it as well. We have this full-blown marketing tool that not only the big guys can do whatever they want with, but the small guys get the benefit of knowledge from the big guys.
Well, that's a nice pivot too, because one of my questions I was going to ask was about the future for Marcelo, maybe the 2020 roadmap and partner alignment. I'm not necessarily asking for the secret sauce of what you're up to, but is there anything you can share publicly about where you believe the platform is, for people that are going to make the choice, hopefully today, and at least give Marcelo a try? You have a great founder story. We get what you're trying to do. You're solving lots of great problems for brands, email and loyalty together. It's very unique in the marketplace. If they're going to make that pivot, maybe you can share some points about where the platform is going to continue to evolve.
There's really three strands to our product strategy. So if you think of Marcelo as this virtual marketing assistant, so Marcelo is a member of your team, then the first thing that we want Marcelo to do is get better at marketing. So for example, we have abandoned cart email flows. So we're constantly looking at the data through machine learning to work out the first email should go out after this many hours, because this leads to a higher conversion rate to sale. So Marcelo is always getting smarter and better at that marketing. The second thing that Marcelo will do is actually learn new skills. Those skills, for example, the next big skill that we're working on that will come out early next year, which is in beta at the moment, is the capability to do social advertising, initially through Facebook and Instagram. And the first part of that will be to do advertising to your existing customer base. And then as we learn more, we'll be actually able to do lookalike lists so that you can use the social advertising to acquire new customers that look like your existing ideal customer. So that's a new skill that Marcelo will learn. And then the third part is new ways for Marcelo to communicate on your behalf to your customers. So SMS is in closed beta at the moment. So you will have the capability to run not only email campaigns, but SMS campaigns as well. And that could be based on the preference of the consumer or the type of product that you're selling, or the time. So Marcelo is always looking at the best way to communicate. So there's those three things that we're working on. The other thing that's exciting for us is we'll be opening an office in Toronto early next year, and we have our first employee all lined up to go. And so he is a partner manager, so he'll be looking after the partner, the Shopify partner channel.
Yeah, I can see having a channel manager and that kind of education component. So I think that's one of the reasons why I have this show. Being a Shopify employee, this is an external project that I have, but I do it selfishly so that I can learn about the problems that certain apps and marketing platforms, what problems they're solving, that I can then share with my merchants and clients and other people from within or external to the Shopify organization. I think it's an education component that's missing. It's exciting that you get a partner manager that can start grassroots. It's awesome about a Toronto office. So that means you'll be at Unite this year, probably, which is the partner conference for Shopify, probably in June 2020, probably this year.
Yep, so we were there last year. Yep.
Yeah, it was in Toronto last year in June. So you were there? Great. I missed it last year. I watched the live stream. I went to IRCE in Chicago last year.
Okay. Yeah, we actually got demoed on stage by the POS team. So Arpon did a demo of how Marcelo works with Shopify POS, which was pretty exciting.
I'm going to put that link in the show notes. I didn't realize there was a demo. See, that's why I have the show again. Learning, right? So a demo of POS. I'll make sure I get that up. And so we are nearing the end of the show for today, though. But do you have any closing comments or any takeaways that you would like to leave with our listeners today?
The key one that we're talking to in terms of our marketing at the moment, to try to get people to buy our product, is that this is the most important shopping period of the year, and this is the time that you need to build your database of customers. So, incentivize people to sign up, even if they're not buying something. Incentivize them to sign up because, post-holiday season, when things get quieter, you need to be able to find customers to remarket to. So, that's the one piece of advice we're saying to everyone at the moment. Build that database as big as you possibly can while make hay while the sun shines during the holiday season.
If your theme doesn't support or it's not on brand for pop-up and exit intent and things to build your email list, because we know that conversion rates, let's call it 2%. So 98 out of 100 customers that come to your store are not purchasing. What are you doing to build your email list or other types of opt-in? I have interviewed Privy at privy.com or Just Uno at justuno.com, and those are two solutions that you should likely have a look at. A lot of them have freemium or even free options available, but that could at least give you some exit intent pop-ups in exchange for some kind of a discount coupon for an email. It could be a text message opt-in. It could be a Facebook Messenger opt-in. It's something. So I think that's what you're kind of suggesting, is that building your database either natively in your theme and or through one of these third-party solutions to start building those opt-ins. They have some great, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and holiday-themed pop-ups and exit intent landing pages that are already pre-built that can quickly be skinned for your brand. So that's certainly available. So is that what we're kind of thinking about?
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yep.
So how can people learn more about the Marcelo app?
Well, obviously, you can go into the Shopify App Store and just search for Marcelo. So I'll make the name really easy to remember and tell you how we came up with the name. So we wanted to build a product that creates marketing that sells. It's the Mar for marketing, right, and the sell. And then the O is actually in there for the entire customer life cycle. So Marcelo, Marsello, or marcello.com, you can go to, and find us there.
I noticed you have quite a few blogs and a lot of success stories and ebooks and guides and things on there too. So definitely go over. I'll have it in the show notes, marsello.com. Lots of good resources in there to learn more about marketing automation, lifecycle marketing, retention marketing, and how they're able to put all these together. And thank you so much. We did speak offline just before recording today, and you've been so kind to offer a 30-day free trial for those that are listening in today. And that link will be at ecommercefastlane.com/Marcelo. It'll be in the show notes for this episode. It really is a no-brainer, honestly, to take a look at the Marcelo platform, free of charge for the next 30 days and just see, how targeted marketing can actually help your brand, become more relevant, and having all these pre-made advertisements and stuff. It's just pretty exciting. I've learned a lot today. I've scrambled down so many notes. Life of learning, Spice, honestly. So thanks for coming on the show today. Much appreciated.
Appreciate your time, Steve. Thanks for having us. Cheers.
This episode is supported by Caro, an incredible Shopify app that discovers all the influencers, press, and media that already love your brand. They can be customers, email subscribers, or fans, and Caro will reveal the social footprint and influence of those that have already shown you some love. And from there, Caro makes it easy to work with influencers, communicate, and distribute products to them so you can pick the right influencers and create meaningful partnerships. To get started, you can visit getcaro.com or search for Caro in the Shopify App Store. That's Carro, and discover which influencers already love your brand. Well, that's it for today's episode. I'd like to thank you, a loyal listener of E-commerce Fastlane. It's my hope that this podcast is offering you a ton of value through growth strategies, tactics, and exclusive insider tips on the best Shopify apps and marketing platforms, all with my personal goal to help you build, launch, grow, and scale with Shopify. Thanks for investing some time today and listening to the show. I'm so proud and excited that you have a growth mindset and are a constant learner. I truly appreciate you and your entrepreneurial journey. Enjoy the rest of the week and keep thriving with Shopify.